All right. Assalamu alaikum. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. We come to you with another episode of the Mr. Islam Answers Back show. It has been a long time. And like I've told you guys the last show I did, that unfortunately it's like, you know, I'm getting the opportunity to do the show at least once a month. And I definitely have said on many occasions that I'm trying to increase, I'm trying to do more shows, bring you guys more content. But as of late, it's been difficult to do that. As you know, a lot of our countries are just dealing with the COVID and, just getting back to normal with our businesses and jobs and all these things like that. So, you know, that have made it difficult. We got to concentrate on those things like that. But as I've said before, with your support, the more support I can get, the more we can free up the time to bring you more content on a consistent basis, inshallah. But in any case, as you see on the screen, if you like to support the program, support the content, and help us achieve that goal, you see the support links are now on the screen now, so I don't have to keep saying it, and all that. So now you see it right there on the screen. You got the Cash App if you want to do an immediate donation. You have the Patreon if you want to join our Patreon and get access to exclusive content. You have it there. All right, but let's get going. Alaikum salam. What's that, brother Osas? Welcome, alhamdulillah, welcome, appreciate it. So before we get started, don't forget to like the video, and those of you who are going to watch this later, don't forget to like the video as well. All right, utilize the links in the description of this video, which will help to support the platform, make a donation, contribute to our our work, whatever you see fit. All right, but again, most importantly, don't forget to like the video and share it too. Like it and share it. So let's get to it. Today's topic: how Christianity and white racism have long been allies. All right. Now, if you've been following my content, you know that this is something that I've talked about for many years. All right. I've talked about this companionship, this allyship between Christianity, this connection between Christianity and white racism. I've talked about it, for many years, and discussed it in some of the videos previous. And so we're going to delve into that a little bit today in today's show. So as you see on the screen, this is the title of an article that I came across. Racism among white Christians is higher than among the non-religious. That's no coincidence, they say. For most of American history, the light-skinned Jesus, conjured up by white congregants, demanded for preservation of inequality as part of the divine order. And I would say that that's not just here in America, but that goes for wherever the European Christians set foot. That as you know the history, and I'm going to show that tonight, that wherever they went, they claim to be Christians, and they always like to tell us that Jesus says love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you and turn the other cheek, and all these things that sound good. But apparently Christianity, I always told you there's a difference between Christianity and what Jesus taught. All right, remember, my assertion is that what Jesus taught and Christianity are two different things. So as you see, right, Jesus said turn the other cheek and love your enemy and all these different things. Allegedly, he said those things. But we see that Christianity itself doesn't really practice that. Wherever they went, there was an allyship. It was coupled. Their Christianity was coupled with white racism. So the British, the French, the Spanish, the Portuguese, right, the Germans, they all did it. They all claimed to be Christian nations, especially in earlier times, right? Even more so then. And yet their practice didn't appear to be resembling what Jesus taught. As we know, we know what all these colonizers did, right? We know what all these colonizers did. We know what the British have done to various peoples of color upon this earth. We know what the French have done. We know what the Spanish have done. We know what the Portuguese have done. We know what the Germans have done, the Belgians. You name it. You name it. You name these European countries. And wherever they went, when they met people of color that were non-white, we know what they've done, yet professing to be Christians. So let's get into this article here, and let's read a little bit of the article, and you'll see how, as you see here, this article is proving my point. The stuff that I've been telling you this, guys, right? I've been telling you this, guys, for years, man. For years since I've been on Pal Talk, I've been telling you this. Even before Pal Talk, even before the internet. Before I started, not before the internet, but before I started doing my debates, right? Before I started doing my debates, when I used to be on AOL Messenger and things of that nature, before the internet advanced to what it is to today, I've been saying this. And then in the early years when the internet was getting better, and we could, we had the chat. I've been saying it. I've been saying it for the longest time. I said it in some of my debates. I've mentioned it. Right. So now this article, we have an article here that pretty much backs me up. All right. Let's talk about it. Let's take a look at it. We'll read a little bit of it. All right. Article by Robert P. Jones. Fair use. We're using it on the fair use. He's the author of the book White Too Long: The Legacy of White Supremacy in American Christianity. Something that your brother Shadid has been telling you for the longest time, right? It says, over the last several weeks, the United States has engaged in a long overdue reckoning with the racist symbols of the past, tearing down monuments to figures complicit in slavery and removing Confederate flags from public displays. But little scrutiny has been given to the cultural institutions that legitimize the worldview behind these symbols: white Christian churches. It says a close read of history reveals that we, white Christians, have not just been complacent or complicit. Rather, as the nation's dominant cultural power, we have constructed and sustained a project of perpetuating white supremacy that has framed the entire American story. The legacy of this unholy union still lives in the DNA of white Christianity today, and not just among white evangelical Protestants in the South, but also among white mainline Protestants in the Midwest and white Catholics in the Northeast. Exactly. So it really doesn't matter. As I've said this, it didn't matter, and it doesn't matter what sect of Christianity, what denomination. It seems to be prevalent throughout it, as you see here. No matter if it was the Catholics, whether it's the Protestants, right? It didn't matter, and it doesn't matter. It's prevalent throughout it. There's this connection between white supremacy and Christianity, and in some cases we see that Christianity is pretty much associated with being white, right? And of course, yes, we know that there are black Christians, Latino Christians, Arab Christians, but even in that sense, right, we see that in the West, still being a Christian seems to be associated with being white, whether they speak it out. And I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you where they speak about it loudly. They speak this publicly. You see? And this is what I've told you guys before, why we see that whenever there is some white, some non-white Christian that is against Islam, you notice how they seem to speak white racist talking points. Like I told you back in the days when with Nabil Qureshi, right? He's not a white man, but yet he was professing white racist ideals and ideologies when he was here. I told you, remember the time when we had the debate with the brother Sammy, and he got upset because brother Sammy was making good points and he was beating him in the debate. And Nabil gets mad and tries to mock the brother's Middle Eastern accent. I told you when he had the video and he was in front of some bank, some Muslim bank, and he was talking about the Muslim bank as if like talking about it just like the white racists talk about immigrants coming to the country. They're trying to take over our society, change. I'm like, bro, you're not even a white man. What the hell? What do you mean? What the hell are you doing in front of a Muslim bank talking like you're some white racist bigot? Meanwhile, you just as brown as me. You just as brown as me, and you up and talking like you some damn white man worried about your country being taken. Like but that's what Christianity seems to do, right? It seems to, no matter what your color, it turns you into a turncoat. It turns you into a sellout. It makes you, even if you're not white, it seems to turn you into a white bigot in brown skin, nonetheless. Right? We've seen Arab Christians here come to America, same thing, and they do the same thing. You would think that they were white racists themselves, but they're not white. They're brown. They're Middle Eastern. They're Indian. They're Pakistani. Go back and look at the debate that I just posted recently on Twitter. My debate with that guy Daniel Scott. He's not a white man, right? Despite his European name, Daniel Scott, I think he was Indian Pakistani from Australia. Look at that debate when I debated him about is Islam a threat to the West? And looking at debate, same with him. He's not a white man, but yet he's in Australia. He's from Australia, and in Australia, he got brought up on hate crime charges because he was such a damn bigot. He was spewing such hate, rank bigotry, like as if he was a white bigot himself, that he got himself in trouble. Right? He went so far that they had to finally, they had to bring charges against this dude. So I'm seeing that no matter what color you are, it appears that when you get into Christianity, it somehow blankets you with this covering of white racism and white bigotry. Right? We know people like Brigitte Gabrielle, Middle Eastern, right? Same thing with her. You hear her, she's talking like she's a white racist. She's using their talking points like a white racist bigot. Yet she's not she wouldn't be considered a white woman here in America. But she sure enough picks up those talking points and yet professing Christianity. We've seen a lot of, what was that guy from back in the days that we don't heard no from? Walid Shubat. Same thing with him, right? And then of course we have our people who are white, right? Who are white and bigots. We know their names, the Robert Spencers, right? The David Woods and such, promoting mockery and bigotry and racism against Muslims, right? So, this article talks about that and how, it's apparent that among white Christians, they express more racism than the people who are non-religious. And the article saying how that's not a coincidence. As you see on the screen, it says, in public opinion polls, a clear pattern has emerged. White Christians are consistently more likely than whites who are religiously unaffiliated to deny the existence of structural racism. And that's the thing that's been happening here if you've been following American politics and civil unrest and such, is that ever since Trump has been in office, the white bigotry has become a little bit more bold. Of course, he's out of office now, but while he was in office, it had definitely become more bold, more outspoken. You see, and that's one of the issues here, that their denial of racism. And you would think, right? So you would think that if they follow Jesus, that they would be on the side of the people who have been wronged, right? You would think that they would be on the side of the oppressed, the repressed, the discriminated, right? You would think that they would be on their side, but no, they don't really follow Jesus. As I've told you before, they don't really follow Jesus. They follow Shaitan. They follow the devil. That's who they follow. They don't really believe in what Jesus taught. That's why they don't act upon it. That's why they can claim to be Christians all along and yet turn around right along and be a bigot, discriminate, hate immigrants, hate people of color, but you're Christian. But you said Jesus loves. Where's the love at? I don't see no love in these people. You don't love. You see? Let's take a look at another one to show my point. Here is one here. The gospel of apartheid. The gospel of apartheid. And you heard me say this before as well, that it was the church, the Dutch, the Dutch church. I think it's called, I used to say the Dutch Anglican Church, but I was mistaken. It is the Dutch Reformed Church. It is the Dutch Reformed Church that had its hand in the development of white racist apartheid. But yet they profess to be Christians. Isn't that amazing? How is it that Jesus doesn't touch their hearts and make them see that to be discriminatory against different people because of the color of their skin is evil? This is the proof, as I said before, that Jesus is not their God. He's not your God, and he can't help you, and he hasn't helped you. He hasn't helped them to see that, hey, your race, this is not right. Because their God is Shaitan. Their God is the devil. That's why we call the white racists devils. Right? And I said white racist devils. I'm not talking about all white people. The white racist devils. As the other article said, the whites who are not associated with Christianity appear to be less racist. So good for them. So good for them. My words are very clear. I'm talking about white racists. I'm using the adjective racist. Now, white people, white racist devils. Okay, so let's be clear about that. I don't want my words being misrepresented or misconstrued here. But this article, yes, talks about the gospel of apartheid and how the Dutch Reformed Church had its hand in the development of apartheid and the upholding of it. That for all those few hundreds of years since the 1700s, and then when the British were no better, it didn't matter. The Dutch, the British, same thing, professing Christianity, but still upholding white racism against the black South Africans, right? And the Indians who came there as well, or they brought there. No different. So it didn't matter that the British came and took the land from the Dutch. They still perpetuated the same damn racism, yet claiming to be Christians, claiming to be following Jesus and all this, right? So yes, this article here, as you see, the Gospel of Apartheid, talks about the Dutch and then later the British, how they had their hand in the development of their racist system called apartheid. No different from the Americans, right? Or rather the British colonialists who came to America and later set up Jim Crow, segregation. They have something in common, that is racism involved, right? It's their white, like the article said. They promote the picture of the white Jesus, and they have to spread inequality. They have to spread inequality to uphold these false images of the white Jesus and of their supposed superiority. Right? So here it says South Africa's Dutch Reformed Church and the Afrikaner people it served had since the 17th century drawn a distinction between white Christians and the apparently unconvertible heathen peoples around them. The Afrikaners, for those who don't know that, when they say Afrikaners, that's them. That's what they call the white Dutch. Right? They're not talking about the black people of South Africa when they call themselves Afrikaners. Okay, the Afrikaners' identity as a covenanted people was reinforced by the British conquest of 1899 to 1902. In the effort to maintain a white-ruled South Africa, some Afrikaners flirted with Nazism, but from 1948, the National Party chose a different path, a doctrine of apartheid, or separate development, which drew deeply on the DRC's, that's the Dutch Reformed Church theology. A theology legitimized apartheid, but was also instrumental in bringing it to a sudden and remarkable peaceful end. So they say, right? So they say. But, do you really get applause for maintaining the system for hundreds of years? And you were the originators of this unfair system. So I don't really think, I don't give them the credit for bringing it to the end. The people who brought it to the end was the people who fought against it. Nelson Mandela, the ANC, the Zulu people, the various African tribes who were the victim of this system for hundreds of years. They are the ones who brought it to the end. The Dutch Reformed Church, you don't get any credit. You don't get any credit for help for bringing it to the end. No, we know that's garbage. That's a slap in the face, in fact, to Nelson Mandela and the Africans the black Africans who fought for years, for centuries, for decades against that damn horrendous system. Right? So no, but nonetheless, this article talks about that and their hand in it. Let's read a little bit. It says, in this last of a series of lectures on extreme Christianity, at which we looked at extreme versions of the Christian religion from the idealistic and utopian to the nihilistic and genocidal. Today's story is towards the darker end of the spectrum, but I think it is also ultimately an optimistic story. Though you will need to be patient to get to that part, because this is a story of how a particular form of Christianity helped to generate one of the modern world's most notorious evils. But that's the thing about it, is that, see, it really it didn't matter. See, that's the thing, because no matter what form of Christianity, wherever they went, they were racist. Do you not see this? Everywhere they went, they were white racists. Think about it. Look at the common denominator. Whether they went to South Africa and it was the Dutch, racism. When the British took over, the racism continued. When the British go to Australia, same thing. They go and they decimate and murder the Aborigines people, and they implement a system of racism against the Aborigines people, who are a black people, a dark people. They come to the British and the Spanish and the French come to North America. What do? Racism against the native people, the indigenous Native American people. And then they bring black people over as slaves and mistreat them, racism just the same. The Spanish are in the Caribbean and in Central and South America, same thing. A different ethnic European people, but nonetheless, same common denominator. All professing Christianity, but bringing racism. So the way this article is trying to make it seem like, oh, it was this particular form. No, it wasn't a particular. It was no matter what form of Christianity, whether it was a Catholic form, the Protestant form, the different denominations of the Protestants, they were all racist. So it's not just this particular. All of it, they all came with racism. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me where I'm wrong. I'll wait. You won't be able to do it. You'll have to say, you know what? Shadid is right. He's correct. He's right on. I can't tell him that he's wrong. I can't refute him, because wherever they set foot, they set up a racist system to subjugate and mistreat and discriminate against the non-whites. When they went to Central and South America, they did it to the native people there. In North America, they did it to the people here. And they brought black Africans over and mistreated them. And in many cases continue to mistreat them. Y'all seen the incidents what happened here in America. The last one, the George Floyd, right? That's the most common one that I'm sure most of you around the world, you've heard about it, right? The cop leaning on his neck, racism, and the other incidents of police brutality. In South America, they still mistreat a lot of times the indigenous people are low on the totem pole, are the last ones in the society. And of course, the black people that they have in those countries, they have black people in South America as well, who were brought from Africa. And yeah, they're low. They treat them bad. They still treat them bad to this day. They're still low on the societal, economic level as well. Why? Not because they're, not an industrious people, but because the society limits their access. It limits what they can do, how far they can get, because it's white racism. And who's on the top? The white Spaniards. The people who are the descendants of the white Spaniards, who still look like whites, many of them are usually on the top in those societies. That's not by mistake. That's not by mistake. That's not haphazard. It was designed that way. It was designed that way. Right? It was designed that way. You go to Australia, we know the story of Australia, how they treated the Aborigines people of Australia. So it's not just this particular form of Christianity that was evil that was in South Africa. It was wherever the European Christian went. Whatever his form of Christianity, whatever his denomination, it didn't matter. He was a white racist already. Right? He was a white racist already. So it doesn't matter. Right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where he went. That was the case. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't matter. So it goes on to say, let's see. Let's start in the second paragraph. It says in 1652. The Dutch East India Company established a way station on their route to the East Indies at the site we call Cape Town. Despite the normal vague pieties about civilizing native people, It was plainly intended as a refuge from the sea rather than as a foothold on the land. Yet the land was fertile and the climate temperate. Dutch farmers began to spread beyond the fort to make their own fortunes and so ran up against the region's indigenous inhabitants. The Khoi, how you say this name? The Khoi of southern Africa, the people who were once called Bushmen, were perhaps more alien to European imperialists of this era than any other that they had encountered. They were nomadic, pastoralist, a lifestyle incompatible with the newcomers' weird habit of claiming specific patches of land for their own exclusive use. The Khoi language, in which the most numerous consonants are clicks made with the tongue, sounded to the Dutch more like hiccups, gurgles, or animal noises than speech. That, plus their lack of anything that looked to the Dutch like religion, fed the settlers' suspicion that the Khoi were more bestial than human. One Dutch Protestant minister who had served all around the Indian Ocean declared that the Khoi were the most savage, stupid, and filthy heathens I had ever met. Now, is that the way Jesus would talk about a different people? Was that the way Jesus would talk? Right? Is that how Jesus would talk about a people that he met? I don't know. Right? I mean, I don't know. The way they make us, the way they tell us about Jesus, that he was a peaceful, loving man. But if that's the case, why would a Christian pastor talk like that? Hmm? Why would he talk about a people from a different culture like that with such negative terms? Right? Why would he talk like that? He said they were the most savage, stupid, and filthy heathens he had ever met. The words filthy and stinking were widely used, apparently turning the Khoi custom of rubbing their bodies with animal fat into a symbol of animality. The judgment was only vindicated by the abject failure of the few half-hearted early attempts to convert the Khoi to the Christianity of the Dutch Reformed Church. By 1678, a Dutch minister in the colony concluded that this nation is totally opposed to our religion, no matter what. And see, that's the funny thing. See, they'll call you all kind of names, but then they'll like you if you accept their religion. See, but see how that works. That shows insincerity. That shows insincerity. Because if your religion teaches love, then what shouldn't you treat me well no matter what? Why am I only good if you bring me to if I accept your religion, then I'm good. You see, and see that's what they do. That ties right into what I said earlier of how they like to bring in, the black Christian and the Arab Christian and whatever. And but when you weren't a Christian black, you were just the N-word. Right? You were just the N-word. When you weren't Christian as an Arab, you were a camel rider, right? You're a terrorist, right? But when you're a Christian, oh, now they love you all of a sudden. That's insincere. That's insincerity right there. Who needs a cheap religion like that, right? Who needs a cheap religion like that? On the flip side of it, what does Islam tell us to do? Islam says what? That you treat people kindly, even if they're not believers. Treat them kindly, as long as they're not trying to fight you for your religion or drive you from your homes. Be kind and just to them. Be kind and just to them. But as you can see, the Christian who follows the devil, what are they doing? And this is a pastor too. This is like, it's not like he's some lay Christian. He's a Christian leader. So you would think he should know better. He should know better, right? But instead, no, he's just as devilish and racist as the layperson Christian, calling these people names and talking about them negatively and bad because they don't follow his religion, instead of trying to be nice and welcome them. See? So, really, so they go on to say that let me see, I'm over here. He says, yeah, that they were totally opposed to our religion, no matter what means are directed toward them. That's also why they hated the Muslims too. I remember, if you remember one of my earlier videos, I talked about this, on how, they just hated the Muslims because they said, and the Muslims were, they always complained about how the Muslims were so hard to convert and they couldn't get them to convert away from Islam to Christianity. So that made them even more upset, more angry, more hateful, right? So it says a thoroughly comforting message, since if converting the Khoi was impossible, there was no need to try. What the Dutch really wanted from the Khoi was for them to disappear, and before long, smallpox ensured that many of them did. Okay. Elsewhere in the burgeoning European empires, missionary despair on the ground was balanced by optimistic newcomers. But at the Cape of Good Hope, European immigration had all but dried up by 1700. The few remaining settlers prospered and multiplied. A tiny isolated outpost of Protestant Europe on the shores of the southern ocean, Dutch officials regarded the frontier lifestyles of these Boer farmers with increasing contempt. Now, here's something interesting too to connect this to what's been happening in this day and time, where you've heard stories of in Black South Africans, taking land back, occupying land. Exactly, I'm all for it. They should take it back. They should take it back because as you read the story here, these people came in and took it. They took it from the native people. So I'm in full agreement that of the South Africans sitting on the farms, taking the land back. That's right. It's yours. It's your people's land. It's your people's ancestral land. These white Dutch and white British people are not the indigenous people of that. They're not the natural inheritors of that land. Their ancestors took it, as this article is telling us. So I don't know how these people can complain about, oh, it's unjust. They're taking our land back. Yeah, they should take the land back. It belongs to their ancestors. Coupled with the fact that not only did you take the land, but then on top of to add insult to injury, you took their land and then you further discriminated against these people. You further mistreated them with apartheid and brutality and racist violence. Now you got the nerve to be crying because the ancestors, the descendants of those people from whom you took the land want their land back, want their country back. You got a lot of nerve. But see, that's the arrogance. That's the arrogance of the devil. Right? That's the arrogance of the devil, that these people got the nerve to complain and whine. And yet they the first ones to be talking about justice and equality and freedom and rights and all this, right? All this stuff they talk. But that's for you though. See, for them, they do what they want. Right? They do what they want. That's white privilege. They do what they want. You see? So that's a little bit there. Let me check in on the chat room. Oops. Let me check in on the chat room. See how things are going. A lot more people have shown up. Okay, we can show that one. Welcome. Let me see. Let me check out before I go. Let me just check out some of the brothers and sisters in the room here. Mukit Khan. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam, brother. Yeah, alhamdulillah. Abdullah Isa, welcome. Appreciate you. Safia, welcome. Assalamu alaikum. Safia, welcome to the room as well. What's this name? Telsh, did I say that right? Telsh 9, welcome. Appreciate you showing up. Don't forget, guys, don't forget to like the video. Right? Don't forget to like the video. You see the support apps shown in the shown on the bottom of the screen on the left. So don't forget to utilize those. All right. All right. So let's continue. Let's get back to this. Why is it saying no data? Oh, okay. All right. So let's get back to it. All right, let's get back to where we were. All right, so we're gonna go on to the next. Let's go on and examine some more examples of how Christianity has been connected. What? Hold on a second. Okay, yeah. Let's go and look at some more examples of how Christianity has been an ally to white racism. Listen to this, guys. I want you to listen to this. Check it out.
It's a pitiful thing.
No. Oh, by the way, well, you can see it on the screen right there, right? It says, Pastor shares his views on interracial marriage. Right? He's a pastor now. Jesus loves, right? Jesus loves everybody, they tell us. Right? So here, listen to this pastor preach about. Let him tell you about interracial marriage. You guys listening? All right, you guys listening? Take a listen. Listen to the pastor.
Holy, not wonderful, and everybody should do it.
Fair use, fair use.
Friends, it's worldly. Why is it so many black basketball stars, black football stars, black baseball stars want a white wife? Why? Lord have mercy. It's another defiance of God's law. It is a worldly way. And then it creeps over into the message. Tell me what's the difference in preaching against bobbed hair, painted face, shorts, all this, that, and other, being worldly, and we let this worldly means come right in, and we're afraid to say one thing about it. And let me tell you right up front, any of you young people, you want to marry a black man, you girls, don't ask me to do it, because I will not. I refuse. I cannot do it with a conscience toward God and look these quotes in the face.
Whoa, wait a minute there. Hold up. I thought y'all were all Christian brothers and sisters. Right? I thought y'all were all Christian brothers and sisters. Why won't he let a black man marry the white Christian girl? What's wrong with that? I thought y'all both believe in Jesus. I thought that y'all are brothers and sisters in Christ. So why can't the black Christian marry the white Christian? What's wrong, Mr. Pastor? What's wrong with that? I thought, Jesus loves everybody. I thought God is love. I thought, Jesus is love, and he's better than Muhammad, and Islam is evil, and I thought what happened? What's going on here? What's this you talking here? Right? What's this you talking here? I thought, right, everybody, right? What's this he's talking here? Right? They tell us that you love everybody, and y'all are the brotherhood in Christ and all that. So why is he against interracial marriage? And he's talking about quotes from the Bible. What quotes from the Bible say that? Maybe we don't know enough, brothers and sisters. Right? I don't know. But apparently he thinks he has his position backed up by the Bible. Let's listen to some more.
You white brothers, you find a black sister, you want to marry an African or whatever more, don't ask Brother Donnie. I'll quit church. Suit yourself. I'd rather you quit than me get in trouble with God. Well, glory.
Yeah, you had people clapping and everything, right? You heard it. They clapping and yeah, right. And there's a couple of videos and a couple of stories out there about this. Matter of fact, let me see. There's a couple of stories out there that I found on this subject of white pastors and stuff, and speaking against. There's a few articles about it. Here's one here. Tennessee pastor rails against interracial marriage. You know what? This might be the same guy. Look in the picture. It looks like it might be the same guy. Yeah, it might be the same guy. But from what I see, there was a couple of articles and a couple of stories out there about it. Matter of fact, what was the other one I had? There was one about this church in Kentucky. Yeah, there was one about this church in Kentucky that I saw. There's just a couple of stories about it out there. MAGA pastor compares interracial marriage to zoo animals. Right? Yeah, there was a couple of stories that I saw out there where they were talking about it. Right? So yeah, that's not the only preacher. It's not like it's a one-off. Nah, there's a couple of stories out there talking about it. Matter of fact, I saw one where they said it got banned. Where's it at, man? Oh, I had that article too, where they banned it, man. The church banned it. The church came together and banned, and it was interesting, the story. Let me see if I can find that one. Hold on a second, guys. Oops. Yeah, let me see if I can find that one. Yeah, hold on a second. Let's see. There was another one that I saw about this church that they banned. Let's see here. Where is that article at? It was a Kentucky church, and they banned this couple. Well, they banned it from the church. The church banned it, and there was a black couple who came to their church, and basically it's like they kicked them out. It's like they kicked them out of the church, man. It's crazy. Let's see. Where's that one at, man? Let me see. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let's see. Hmm. Man, I had that article too. Let's see. Where was it? Where was it? Hmm. Oh, here we go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Church bans. I think this is the one right here. Let me make sure. Let's see here. Church bans interracial marriage. Is this it? Let's see. Yep, yep. This is the one. This is the one. Yeah, yeah. Let me show it to you guys. Okay. So just to show you, and there's many more, but obviously I can't show them all to you. But hold on a second. Let's see here. Yeah, here we go. Here's the one right here. Yeah. Church bans interracial marriage. I'm not racist, said former pastor. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, members at the Gulnair, I don't know if that's the Gulnair or Gulnair Free Will Baptist Church in Kentucky voted Sunday on the resolution which says the church does not condone interracial marriage. Now, what kind of stuff is that? But no surprise, because like I told you, there is this alliance between white racism and Christianity. It says a tiny all-white Appalachian church in rural Kentucky has voted to ban interracial couples from joining its flock. But wait a minute. But I thought Jesus was love. I thought that you want to preach the gospel to everybody. I thought that you loved your enemies. Hmm? That's what I thought. I thought you guys turned the other cheek. I thought that according to you guys, Islam is the evil religion. That the Muslims are the evil people. That's what I thought. That's what I would hear from you guys. So how are y'all against interracial people? Aren't y'all all in Christ? I thought y'all were all Christians, huh? All Christian brothers and sisters. I thought becoming a Christian made everything okay. Hmm? Right? I thought if we was to become Christians, that would make everything all right. We'd be acceptable, right? I thought we would be acceptable now. But of course, that's not the truth, guys. I've done told you this before. That's why they would kill and bomb black churches. It didn't matter that you were worshiping the same fake white Jesus as them. It didn't matter. It didn't matter that you accepted their religion that it forced us, I forced our ancestors to accept. It didn't matter. It didn't matter, and it doesn't matter. Because notice they still mistreated us. No matter what we did, we could worship the fake white Jesus. We could have his pictures hanging up on our walls. You could practice the same religion as them, build churches, and do everything, and they still hated us. Jesus didn't change nothing about them practicing their religion that they enforced upon us. That's right, I'm telling you. For any people who are Christian, listen to this, or black Christians in particular, they forced this religion, their religion, on us, and it didn't change anything. It didn't make them treat us any better. So why are you still following it? But let's take a look here, a little bit more about the story. It says members they voted to that the church does not condone interracial marriage. The church member who crafted the resolution, Melvin Thompson, said he is not racist, okay, whatever, and called the matter an internal affair. I'm not racist. Yeah, whatever. I will tell you that I'm not prejudiced against any race of people. Have never in my life spoken evil about a race. Well, you did right now when you're telling them that people who are so-called different races can't marry. Said Thompson, the former church pastor, who stepped down earlier this year. But whatever he can say, of course they always say they're not racist. They're not racist. They're not racist. Church Secretary Dean Harville disagrees. He says the resolution came after his daughter visited the church this summer with her boyfriend from Africa. Stella Harville and Ticha Chikuni, her now her fiance, visited the church in June, and Chikuni sang a song for the congregation. See, that's another thing, man. Let me say something, black people, man. See, this is what happens. See, this is what happens, man. You accept their religion, you worship fake white Jesus, you think that this is making you acceptable to them. So now you want to go up in their church, all white people, and start singing. Right? You thinking you good now. You thinking you're acceptable. But you see, Jesus didn't change anything about their hearts. See that? Jesus didn't make you acceptable to them. Even though you went up in there singing a song, thinking you are happy, they still looked at you as a black N-word. See that? See that? They still looked at you as a black N-word. You thought you was coming in there and you thought you was going to be singing songs about Jesus and everything was going to be happily and well. Yet you came in there and they despised you, bro. They despised you. And now they hate your white wife too because she dared to be with a black man. And you don't see the problem with this Christianity. Well, let me read some more. So they said they sang for the congregation. The two had visited the church before. Dean Harville, the church secretary, said he was counting the church offering after a service in early August when he was approached by Thompson, who told Tim Harville's daughter and her boyfriend we're no longer allowed to sing at the church. If he's not racist, what is this? Harville said of Thompson. The vote by members last Sunday was 9-6, Harville said. It was taken after the service, which about 35 to 40 people attended. Harville said many people left or declined to vote. The resolution says anyone is welcome to attend services, but interracial couples could not become members or be used in worship services or other church functions. Why not? Like, what's the problem? Like, I don't even get it. Like, what logical sense does that make? Why can't they participate? Right? Why can't they participate? Why can't they sing if y'all are all under Christ? But see, that's it. The religion is fake. The religion is of Shaitan. Jesus is not really God, so he can't change their hearts. Right? That's why he hasn't changed their hearts. That's why they can claim to be followers of Christ and preach the religion and do all this church service and Sunday, but they still racist as hell. But they're still racist as hell. Why? Because Jesus ain't God and he hasn't touched their heart and he can't change their heart and he won't change their heart because he has no power to do anything for them. That's why you can see these people preaching Christianity for centuries and still being evil and racist as hell. So I want y'all to get it and see it. I want y'all to get it and see it and start thinking about this. For centuries, these people have been this way and professing this religion. And it has not stopped them once from mistreating people of color. Even if you follow their religion, Jesus hasn't come to your rescue. He hasn't saved you from their torture. He hasn't saved you from them. Matter of fact, hell, if I would think, I might think he was on their side. Right? If he really was God, it would appear that he's on their side. Why do I say that? Well, look. He let them win. He let them take your land. He let them mistreat you for centuries and didn't do nothing about it. Well, hell, I might think he's on their side. Right? If he's real, well, we know he's not, but if he was real, he let apartheid go on. He let the Dutch church create apartheid and mistreat black people in South Africa since the 1700s. It appears he was on their side because he didn't do nothing to stop it. Look here in America. it appears he would be on their side. Hell, he kept black people in America in slavery for 400 some odd years, with the Jim Crow included. For 400 years, Jesus didn't do nothing to stop it. Hell, he didn't even stop them from killing Martin Luther King and various other civil rights leaders who were looking for justice. So it would appear that if Jesus was really God, he would be on their side. Hell, I definitely would. If I'm on the other side, I definitely don't want to follow that religion, because like, well, damn, I'm praying to him and he ain't answering. I'm praying for justice. I'm praying that to get out of slavery. I'm praying for to stop the discrimination, to stop apartheid, stop Jim Crow. He ain't answering the prayer. He ain't answering the prayer. He's allowing y'all to continue to mistreat us. Well, hell, he must be on their side then, because he ain't answering our prayers. Right? He let you take my land unjustly, let you mistreat me, let you set up apartheid, Jim Crow. Right? He must be on their side if he was real, but he's not. That's just the devil. That's the shaitan. That's the shaitan. And that's why they can talk this way and be upset. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would think they would welcome anybody. Oh, good. Who cares if they're an interracial couple? You're believers in Christ. Welcome to the church. No, but no. Because Christianity is fake and false, it hasn't changed. That's why you see David Wood making videos mocking. And I did the video about him and Pastor Joe Cab and all these other idiots with their little racism, mocking Muslims and dressing up in Arabs and making all kind of insulting, offensive videos. Because it's not real. Jesus ain't really God. He's not real for them. That's why he ain't changed. That's why they can't. That's why they don't see the error of their ways. The Robert Spencers and all the rest of the damn haters. Because they're following the devil. As you know, in Islam, Shaitan was one of the first racists. Shaitan was a racist himself when Allah told him to bow down to Adam. He said, no, I ain't bowing. I'm not bowing to him. He's created from black mud. I'm created from fire. I'm better than him. First racist. So that's why when we call y'all devils, you understand why. Because you following the devil himself. That's what he was. He didn't like Adam just because he was different. Said he was black mud. I hate him. Better than him. Not bowing down to him. And y'all follow the devil the same way. Discriminating against other people just because you're different. Just because the skin color is different. It's of the devil. And Christianity has not changed y'all, obviously, from that. So that's the story there on that one. Let me give you another one here. Let's take another one where, again, notice how this video here shows that, look, the topic. We reached the end of white Christian America. Notice they're not concerned about Christian America in general. No, it's white Christian America they're worried about it. The end of that. See that? You see how it's connected? See, you would say if they just said we reached the end of Christian America, you could say, okay, you're concerned about the whole religion, but they're not. See, that's why I'm telling you, Christianity and white supremacy have a connection. They're worried about the end of white Christian America. See, because throughout history, being white and Christian were synonymous almost, it appears. At least for the Europeans, it was synonymous. The way they taught Christianity was that it was synonymous with being white. And as I demonstrated at the beginning of this video, apparently people who white, black, non-whites or people of color who become Christian in the West, you become white by default, apparently, because a lot of you take on the white racist thinking and talking points, as I mentioned earlier with Nabil Qureshi. You see David Wood and Vocab when they got their black friend. He's participating in damn racist videos to himself, and yet he's a black man. He's participating with those Islamicize me videos that they made a while back. He participates with them. You would think he would know better as a black man to avoid. You could have your disagreements with Islam, but avoid mocking the people. Avoid dressing up like an Arab. That's like blackface, when white racists would dress up as black people and make fun of us and mock us. Here's this dude hanging out with vocab and David Wood acting like a damn white racist himself, dressing up like Arabs and mocking the accent and all that. Idiot. Dumb racist ass idiot. Hanging out with the damn white racists. But that's what happens, it appears. Because in the West, Christianity is associated with being white. Take a look at this video. Fair use. Fair use. I'll let you listen to a little bit of it. Listen.
The remarkable truth is this: America is no longer a white Christian country, and that's going to have profound implications. In the early 1990s...
Now again, you see, that's them talking themselves. No longer a white Christian nation. But what about the people of color who are Christians? They don't count? Apparently they don't count. See? Apparently the non-white Christians, the black Christians, the brown Christians, the yellow Christians, apparently y'all don't count. Because you would say, hey, America's still Christian because people of color are still Christian. Obviously, y'all don't count to them. To them, it's not good enough that, okay, white people may be decreasing, but hey, at least people are still Christian, right? At least the black people are still Christian. At least the Latinos are still Christian. At least the Asians are still Christian. No, that's not good enough for them. It's not good enough for them because Christianity is associated with white supremacy. So if it ain't a white majority Christian nation, then America's no good, as you hear. Then it's a problem. See? I want you non-white Christians to think about this. If you listen to this video, I want y'all to think about this. Apparently, y'all being Christian is not good enough. It's only good if it's white Christians in the majority. That should tell you something about this religion that y'all follow. But let's listen some more to the video.
Fewer than 1 in 10 Americans said that they were religiously unaffiliated. That number today is nearly a quarter. It's 23%. About 2/3 of seniors identify as white and Christian. But if we go down to the youngest Americans, those under the age of 30, only 29% of that group identifies as white and Christian. Today we have 0 Protestants on the U.S. Supreme Court, and if Merrick Garland is confirmed, we will have 5 Catholics and 4 Jews. The 2012 election with Romney versus Obama is a good illustration of just how quickly the power of white Christian America has declined. Romney actually did pretty well among white evangelical voters. He hit all his basic marks that his campaign should have hit. If he had run the same campaign he ran and got the same kinds of support he got in 2004, he would have won. But what had changed between 2004 and 2012 was that the religious and racial landscape had shifted just enough that it wasn't enough to put him over the top. Now, obviously, we're seeing Donald Trump running with this playbook. We may have a real test case on our hands about whether or not there are, in fact, enough white Christian voters out there for a Republican candidate to win, relying on those supermajorities. One key question is, what does it mean to be an American? What is the image of America that comes to people's minds when they even hear the word America? And I think that's one of the things we're struggling over in the country today. For many white evangelicals, I mean, they see something that looks like a Norman Rockwell painting, a white Protestant family gathered around a Thanksgiving table. And I think for many that evokes this era of the 1950s where white conservative Christian values really did hold sway. Compare that to the Coca-Cola commercial that aired during the Super Bowl. We had all kinds of families, you know, they were black, they were white, they were Latino, they were Asian, and they were Muslim, and they were Christian. And it set off a firestorm of controversy. You know, many conservative white Christians saying, like, this is not at all the America we ought to be celebrating. In fact, it's a departure from this.
You hear that? You see that? You heard that, right? Now, why would that be the case, brothers and sisters? Why would that be the case? See, because they don't really believe in none of that stuff they talk. See, they don't believe in none of that. They don't believe all men are created equal. See, they don't believe in we are united as one. They don't believe in that. Why would they be upset by a Coca-Cola commercial, as he said, that shows what America really is? Yes, America is white people. America is black people. America is Latino. America is Asian. America is Muslim, Jewish. Why would they be upset? Well, you know why? Because they don't really believe in those. They think that they are the top people. Notice this is about white Christians now. This is not about just white racists in general. No, the white Christians were upset that America is looking like the way it's supposed to look. Well, really the way it's always looked, but they kept the image, the false image of it being a white country. You see? They're upset that it's not going to be the way their ancestors stole it, where they are in control. They're upset about that. They're angry about that. They're losing their power. They're upset. Again, like I said, you'd think that they'd be happy that, hey, at least it's still Christian, right? At least it's still Christian, because you got, the black Christians and the other people of color who are Christians. But no, y'all are not really brothers to them. This proves it. This video is proving what I said. They don't really see y'all as brothers and sisters. You accept Christ. Yeah, you got churches. You're Indian with a church. You're black with churches. You're Asian with churches. Yeah, that's good. You're Arab with churches. Okay, yeah, but they don't really see you as brothers and sisters. This proves it, because they wouldn't be upset about it, right? They wouldn't be upset about the numbers changing if it was about Christianity. But clearly, it's not about Christianity. It's about white Christianity. It's about white Christianity. So if they're not on top, well, then they're upset. And now their true colors are showing, literally. Now they're showing their true colors, that obviously they don't care. That you brown and black, yellow Christians, you're not really their brothers and sisters, obviously, because they're not happy the fact that they're, at least you guys may still be Christian, but they're not happy about it, right? Because it's about white Christian America. So they were upset about the commercial, as the gentleman told us. They were upset that the commercial showed a diverse America, which America really is supposed to be like that. We're supposed to be united, I thought. But that's why I don't fall for that anyway. I don't fall for none of that United America and stuff. I don't fall for that, right? I'm smart enough to know that even that's a bunch of BS. When they talk all that, liberty and justice for all and, one nation under God. BS. Bunch of bull. You don't get me with that patriotic bullshit. I don't fall for that. Let the dummies fall for that. I don't fall for that nonsense, because I know it's not true. I know it's not true. And this proves that it's not true. The fact that they were upset. The fact that they were upset about this commercial proves that they don't really believe in, a united nation, a united America, one nation under God. Bull, BS. They don't believe in that. They don't believe in it, and they don't want that. They've never wanted that. Their history has shown that they've never really wanted a united America. All that stuff is just propaganda. It sounds good. It sounds good. It's good for brainwashing you. But the reality is they don't really believe in it, and they don't want that. So this is the point to prove the long allyship of white racism and Christianity. They've been allies for a long time, for centuries. And don't you ever mistake it and believe that that's not the case. Let me let you see here a little bit more of this video.
This image that we have, people fight like that when they are losing a sense of place, a sense of belonging, and a sense of the country that they understand and love. So thinking about the descendants of white Christian America that are still here with us today, and again, it's still 45% of the country. It's a lot of people. How do they re-engage in public life when they can't be the majority? On the one hand, there are leaders, I think, such as Russell Moore at the Southern Baptist Convention, who is really trying to take these shifts really seriously and to figure out how to engage in a way where they're taking one seat at the table and not pretending that they own the whole table. On the other hand, I think we're seeing some real reactions against this, and we're seeing it with the evangelical leaders who are really supporting Trump, calling for Christians to kind of turn out and reclaim their dominant space in public life. There just aren't the numbers out there for that to happen. America is no longer a majority white Christian country.
So, there it is, brothers and sisters. There it is. And they're upset about it. They're scared. And really, right? Really what happens, though, is that he asked the question, how are they going to engage? Well, if we look at history, you got to be ready, because unfortunately, they've engaged whenever they lose, whenever they get mad, they engage with violence. Right? They engage with violence. So you got to watch your back, man. That's how they engage. You saw what happened on January 6th, right? You saw what happened on January 6th with the insurrection. That's how they engage. When they lose, they don't lose peacefully. When they get upset and they lose, they get violent. So watch your back. All peoples of color, Christian, the black Christian, the Arab Christian, they'll come for you too. Oh yeah, they'll come for you too. We already see the history of how they treated black people who were Christian. That didn't matter. That they didn't say, oh, those are our brothers and sisters. They bombed black churches. They burnt black churches down. So you Arab Christians who think that you're on their side because you're talking against the Muslims and all that, oh, watch your back. Watch your back, not from the Muslims, but from your so-called fellow Christian white Christian brothers and sisters. They'll be the ones coming for your asses, not us. You black Christians, same thing. We already know. You black Christians, you already know the history. You already know what y'all had to go through. You already know. Indian, Pakistani Christians, same thing. They'll come for you too. They'll come for you too. Some of y'all gonna have to learn the hard way. Some of y'all gonna have to learn the hard way. But for sure, understand this point of this video, that there's been a long friendship between Christianity and white racism. Okay? So I'm going to end it with this. Don't forget to like the video. The support options are there on the screen as you see. So please utilize and help support so I can, inshallah, be able to do more videos and bring you more content. But I'll end it on this. I'll say the same thing Malcolm X said when he came back from his trip from Mecca. And then he got to see with his first, he got to see the unity of the Muslims when he went on Hajj. He got to see the unity of the white Muslim, the black Muslim, the Arab Muslim. He got to see the different ones, right? The Asians, etc. And he came back, and what did he say? He said, if the white man, I'll change it up a little bit. If the white people in America would study Islam, I think that it could bring about a healing to America. It could bring about a true brotherhood of the people here if they studied Islam truly. I'll end it on that. I appreciate those of you watching. Inshallah, I definitely will try to do more videos. It's I gotta admit, it's been difficult on your brother. The COVID, everything, business has been difficult. But we definitely appreciate you brothers and sisters stopping by to watch. Those who are here on the live right now, those of you who will watch this video later, appreciate it. The supporters that I do have, I appreciate your support. Appreciate you guys for sticking in there and continuing to support me on Patreon. Pretty much I pretty much gonna I don't know, I guess I'll say, yeah, I'm not gonna keep asking for the 10 supporters. Unfortunately, I never was able to reach the 10 supporters that I've asked for in previous videos, so I'm pretty much gonna just give up on it. Not saying I'm gonna give up on support. People, I'm gonna continue to ask for your support, so go ahead and join. But I was asking before for the goal of 10 and then to move on from there. Unfortunately, we haven't reached that goal yet. I will continue though, just to put it out there, and at your will, at your choice. You want to join the Patreon, go ahead and do so. You know what I'm saying? So I'll just let it be as it is, as such there. But again, those who are the supporters who hung in there for quite some time, appreciate it. Appreciate you hanging in there with me. Continue to support, and I'm very grateful for that. May Allah reward you. And like I said, definitely want to try to get to doing videos again on a consistent basis. But at the least, I guess once a month is my way for now, until things turn around, inshallah. But don't forget, like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you are not a subscriber, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We got good content. We also got good content on the Patreon. So like I said, if you do join the Patreon, you get great rewards. We have access to my debate notes. You got access to the notes that I use on some of these videos, which could be useful for yourself in your own discussions with with non-Muslims. If you're doing dawah, if you're having discussions with your family, friends at work, whatever, you know what I mean? If you're like to just debate on the internet or whatever, social media, these notes are very useful for that. You can use them for you can use them in your own personal use. If you have ambitions to become a debater or a speaker or whatever, you can use these notes. They'd be very beneficial to you. And of course, we're going to add on to them. We're going to keep adding on to them, right? We're going to add on to them as time goes on. So you'll always, for those who are Patreon supporters of a certain level, you'll have access to this, to those notes and to that information for yourselves. Okay, so we're going to end it on that. Again, appreciate it. May Allah reward you for your help, your support, and you guys have a good night or a good morning, depending on where you are in the world. All right. Assalamu alaikum. Have a good night.